So now what we're going to talk about here is as I'm taking my angles, right, into the area that we're searching, I want to make sure that I'm not overexposing myself. And the first way that we overexpose ourselves is going to be this. As I'm looking into the room, I'm not looking center of the doorway. Our tendency is to look into the middle of the doorway because it's obviously framed, and we look to the center of a picture, right? We don't look at the edge of a picture first. So naturally we look to the middle, but where we want to be looking is if I'm searching around this corner, I want to be watching this edge, and I'm pushing this threshold, I'm peeking around the threshold. And this is what happens. We telegraph ourselves because I look to the middle, and from your perspective, what you can see is, can the bad guy see my hands? Probably, right? Does he see my arms? Does he see my elbow? And I don't see him yet. Now I see him, but by the time I see him, my arms are already in. So if he hadn't seen me yet, if he was doing something, all of a sudden he sees my hands come in and he's like, oh, there he is. And now he might draw up. And as I'm coming around the corner, I'm trying to identify weapons, threats. Is that a child of mine? Is that someone, a kid who came home from college and didn't tell me he was coming home? I have to identify who is in my home. The bad guy doesn't need to identify anybody because they're the bad guy. They just do whatever they want, right? So in this case, instead of coming to the middle, and then by the time I see them, I'm looking here, but the threat is off to the right. And now I'm standing in the middle of the doorway and my whole body is exposed. So what I call this is that we're going to ride the line. Okay, we're going to ride the line. I'm going to draw this out for you real quick. So let's say we have the bad guy there. And I'm going to go like this. So if I ride this line, if I pass this line, the bad guy can see me. Now, granted, I don't know where the bad guy is. So this line is always changing. Every step I take, every new angle I take, this line is changing. And it's going with me as I'm scanning. But here's the point. I'm looking down the line to the threshold. So when I'm here and I'm looking, and I come in, I'm taking that next gap, right? I come to here, my foot is riding the line, my shoulder comes out, I'm looking around, and now I see the bad guy, right? But it's right off the edge of this doorway. And what the bad guy sees is all he sees is my head and my hands, maybe a little bit of my shoulder. For some of you with huge lats, maybe they catch some of your lats, right? I don't have that problem so much right now because I'm tactical and hard to shoot, right? So in this case, that's all they're going to see. I have to give them my head and my hands because I have to see what I'm shooting at, and I have to have my gun in there to actually shoot at it, right? So I have to expose that. But I'm not giving him my hips, my legs, the rest of my body as I take that. And I'm not looking into the middle of the room. When he sees me, right, he sees my gun pointed at him immediately. It's not seeing the side of my arm, the side of my elbow, my forearms, my tricep as I'm coming like this. And oh man, there he is, and I'm standing in the middle of the doorway. So now if we look at this same concept with the rifle, in this we get this more in our combat mobility system. We get into the very nitty gritty of the body position.